Perhaps you've heard me reference before the fact that the US trademark application process is a long process, about a year on average, with many different steps along the way or obstacles or hurdles. And in fact, I like to refer to it as the long and winding road. And you can see a nice graphic that my design team created to go with that theme. One step on that long and winding road, I guess one curve on that wind, is being approved for publication. Now, what does it mean when a trademark application is approved for publication? So, the Patent and Trademark Office every week publishes what's called the Official Gazette of Trademarks. And that is a bunch of legal notices. It used to be in a big book that was physically printed by the US government every week. Now it merely exists electronically and online. And it contains legal notices, and it contains all of the details of all of the applications that have been recently given preliminary approval by the USPTO, all of the trademark applications. And the purpose of this publication is that it provides additional public notice to anybody watching or keeping an eye out on the approved trademark applications in case they believe that something shouldn't have been approved and they might want to lodge an objection or contact the applicant or get involved in the process with the USPTO. So it is a very important step because that publication then is a 30-day window that could be extended if a party files something, but it's a 30-day window when a potential objection could be lodged against the application. So when the application is approved for publication, that means that the examiner has reviewed it, and either upon initial review or after back and forth and an office action and a response or an examiner's amendment or other procedural steps along the way, the examiner has said everything is in order and this application can move forward to approval for publication. If the application was filed with use in commerce already, based on use in commerce, that means that once the publication period is over, the only step left in the process is issuing the registration certificate. If the application is what we call a 1B or ITU, intent to use application, meaning that when it was submitted, there was not yet evidence of use. After the publication period, the applicant will receive a notice of allowance, and that means there still is another significant step in the process where the applicant must show proper evidence of use before they will be granted the registration process. So approval for publication is very good news when you receive one. It means that the examiner is ready to move this on to the next phase of that long and winding road. But be careful, because it doesn't mean that you're at the end of the journey yet. There still are other possible procedural or objections or issues that come into play, but you are on track, on your way to reaching the end of that journey, receiving approval from the US Patent and Trademark Office for a registration of your trademark. Now, it sounds so simple, approved for publication, right? And I just spent several minutes because every seemingly simple or basic thing at the Patent and Trademark Office in the trademark process is much more complicated than it looks. This is why guidance from an expert, from someone with experience, makes a tremendous difference to guide your application, your brand, through this long and winding road to hopefully receiving full and proper protection and registration. If you have any questions about that, or you want to talk about protecting your brand, you know how to find me. I'm easy, ericpelton.com, or look for other videos or other podcasts about whatever trademark topics you have. Thanks for listening.